Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach, the CEO and founder, alongside of my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Levita Pyers, of the most incredible tax educational platform on planet Earth, guys, and that is none other than the Academy of Financial Education, where we teach the masses the more you know, the less you legally, ethically owe in taxes. We teach the masses what the school system has been forbidden to teach. And that is, guys, that you and only you, when you get the knowledge, are in control of how much of your money, how much of your hard-earned money is lost to taxation. Okay, so there's no need, guys, to be afraid of the IRS. There's no need for you to be afraid of the tax system. Remember, the more you know, the less you legally, ethically owe in taxes. So before I get started, let me go ahead, guys, and give a disclaimer. None of the information that I'm going to give you over the course of the next few minutes is to be taken as personal financial advice or tax advice. I am not a financial advisor. Some of you should be very happy of that, because most financial advisors wouldn't tell you what I'm going to tell you here over the course of the next few minutes. Okay? Or at least it's been my experience over the last 30 years of speaking with financial advisors. This information is not being taught, and it is not being taught inside of the school system. But it is very important, especially right now in these times, that you get this information. Number two, this is not personal tax advice. I'm going to give you some information, and anytime that I mention anything about taxes, guys, please understand that you can reference that right back to my friends over at the IRS, which is www.irs.gov. Okay, let me get into this information. So I don't know how many of you saw President Biden's speech last night. I think yesterday was March the 7th. What a joke. What a joke. Also, the Federal Reserve came out with some numbers about job reports, and they're saying that, there's too many jobs being created. I want you to think about this for a minute, okay? Last night, President Biden was praising himself about creating jobs. However, I'm already getting loud. However, the Federal Reserve, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Mr. Powell, is saying that we need to cool off the job market. I want to pause here for a moment, okay? I want to ask you to ask yourself a question. Does it make sense that we need people or less people having jobs in order to strengthen the economy, in order to bring down the manipulation of inflation on your compensation? Let me break this down. I want you to write this down, because I don't have a lot of time today. Inflation is not by chance. Inflation is not by mistake. Inflation is by intention. Inflation is intentional. In fact, the Federal Reserve themselves say that they target to get inflation to be around 2%. Now, they've never had no 2% interest inflation. Let's be clear on that, okay? Because what exactly is inflation? Well, inflation is rising prices. That's what they taught us. Inflation is rising prices, okay? Well, that's a lie, and I'm going to prove it, okay? In my opinion, in my educated opinion, okay, inflation is not rising prices. It is not too many people having jobs. It is not too many people spending money, okay? They drove the interest rates up. They, being the Federal Reserve, drove the interest rates up because they said what? They said Americans are spending too much money. Oh, imagine that. You can be out spending too much money. It is bad. Are you saying that it is bad to have prosperity? It is bad to have wealth? It is bad to have abundance. Yeah, for a certain amount of people. For a certain amount of people, okay? You got to get your house taken care of. You got to get your house in order. I'm talking to those of you right now, okay, that are living paycheck to paycheck, okay, that are depending on a job to provide income, okay, to take care of yourself. You've got to find another source of income that does not rely on you going to work. And last but not least, you got to get out of the rabbit hole. You got to open up your eyes. You got to stop being bamboozled. You got to take off the blinders, guys, and you got to face the reality. Is that we're in a money game. I call it the monopoly life game, okay? We're in a money game of the haves and the have-nots. And you're going to have not, and you're going to like it, according to them, if you don't get your house in order. Let me break this down as I get ready to end this particular video. If you're watching this on YouTube, guys, hit the like button, hit the share button, share. I'm going to be coming every day, guys, with some information, because I'm going to have to step up my game to free the people from the plantation of taxation, the plantation of inflation, or the manipulation of inflation, and the plantation of being solely dependent on income from big corporations. Why? Because they're holding your freedom hostages. Let me prove to you why inflation is not something that just happens. It has nothing to do with people having too much money, people spending too much money. It has everything to do with the corruption in our financial system that took place in 1913 in this country, that is not taught in the history classes in our educational system, that is forbidden to teach financial education. And that is, in 1913, our monetary system was handed over to a criminal organization, okay, called the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is no more federal than Federal Express. And they have no reserves. In fact, the Federal Reserves themselves, the Federal Reserve is in control of printing our money. And here's what they say about this money on their own website. They say that the fiat currency, the Federal Reserve note, is the number one liability on their balance sheet. I want to stop right there and pause. If the entity that created this fake money that's backed by absolutely nothing but the labor that you and I put out every day to bring this home, to have this money devalue in purchasing power before it ever gets to your paycheck 2 weeks from now, from the work that you did 2 weeks ago. Are you tracking what I'm telling you? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? It's telling you that this is their number one liability. If it's their number one liability and they created it, what should it be in your bank account? A liability. You cannot save in paper dollars. So I'm going to leave you guys with some stats, and I want you to, again, guys, click the little bell. Make sure you're notified anytime that I go live, anytime that I record a video and upload that video. You want to plug into this station, because I'm going to share with you information that you're not going to find anywhere else. I've been teaching this information since 1994. I took my foot off of the gas pedal for the past year or so, dealing with some tragedies happening in our lives. But guys, I'm back. Mark Pyers is back, Jack. Okay, here is the information and the numbers, okay? I want to take you back to 2008, which was the greatest housing crash. Let me go back, which was the greatest manipulation on American people to rob them of their wealth, and that was the biggest banking crash and the biggest housing crash that was designed to do so. We'll talk about that on another video, okay? So let me prove to you that inflation is intention. It is not by mistake, okay? And how you and I have been set up to be financially enslaved by not understanding what the heck we have right here that we are trading our most valuable asset for, our time. You ready? Okay. In 2008, I want you to go to Google and pull up a inflation calculator. These are numbers that are provided from the government, okay? These are not my numbers. These are numbers that are provided from the government. In 2008 to 2024, inflation means the loss of buying power of this money is 45.70%. That means, let me put this in perspective. That means if you had $100,000 in paper money and you put it under your mattress in 2008 and you pulled it out from up under the mattress today, you would need to buy the same items that you could have bought in 2008 for that $100,000. You would need $145,696. No, I'm still here. You would need an additional $45,696 to buy the same amount of groceries, to buy the same amount, pay the same amount of rent, to buy the same amount of health care, to pay for the same amount of education. Watch this. Watch this. But in 2008, if you had taken that same $100,000 in paper and simply converted it into physical gold, which was $872 per ounce, that would have given you 115 ounces of gold. Now, don't get this confused with investment. Silver and gold are not for investing. Silver and gold is for money protection, purchasing power protection. I'm going to prove it to you. Same $100,000 in 2008, simply converted dollar for dollar into gold. Today in 2024 has a value of $247,595. Wow. The same exact $100,000 simply converted into real money, something that our money was in 1913 before we were manipulated and enslaved. So it's not about inflation. It's not about people spending too much money. It's about the money has become funny and it ain't laughing, baby. It is not mathing either, okay? So $100,000 in paper. You need an additional $45,696 to have the same buying power that it had in 2008, yet the same $100,000 simply saved in gold today in 2024 has a purchasing power of $247,597. You guys ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. Okay, I'm going to give you one more. In 2014, $100,000 to 2014 to 2024, okay? 10 years ago, $100,000, the inflation was the inflation over that period of time, 32.5%. That means you need $132,000 today to have the same buying power that the $100,000 had in 2014. What if you learn how to just simply save your monopoly money into real money? Well, here's the stats. In 2014, 1 ounce of gold was $1,200. That would have gotten you, that same $100,000 would have gotten you 83 ounces of gold. Today, as of this video, which I believe is March the 8th, that 83 ounces of gold is worth $179,000. Wow. Woo, guys, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. I got to turn the air on. It's getting hot in here. That same $100,000 now is worth $179,000 simply because someone told you that you can't save in paper money. This is an enslavement trap. It was designed to to lose purchasing power, to keep you on the plantation of big corporation for 40 years. Why do you think we're still teaching our children that they got to work for 40 years? We got to wake up. We got to wake up. Guys, I got to go. I got an appointment. Lock into this channel.